Goes out for Shackleton. Side for ball, it's in! Leeds have the goal! Still going Rafinha. Rafinha! Oh, what a finish that is!
So Leeds are travelling the long journey south for a big tea time game at Brighton. There's lots to discuss. This is the warm-up. Coming up for you on this week's show.
Thought it may have been offside or something because the boys didn't come to celebrate me straight away.
12 of our 17 points came in the opening 5 games. There have been 7 games since then, and we've not won any of them.
I have thought about this one, but people say...
Do you not normally?
A comfortable 2-0 win to Leeds.
Who throws in the word comfortable, Nick? So, welcome to the warm-up with myself, Rich Williams, and Leeds United legend, Dom Mattia. I always smile when I say the word legend, don't you?
Why not?
Absolutely. Brought to you in partnership with NordVPN, the world's leading VPN provider. We have a special offer for Leeds United fans, which is on the screen for you right now. So we'll be previewing Brighton very shortly, also hearing from inside the Leeds United camp. But before we do any of that, Dom, let's just talk about last weekend's game, of course, against Tottenham. Wasn't the result that we were after, but if we're looking at the positives, that first 45 minutes, Leeds put a good 45 minutes together there, didn't they?
They did. I think you're absolutely spot on. The first 45 minutes, probably the best I've seen Leeds for a long while. We've said that about a few games, but I think that was the performance first half. We seemed to get everything right. Everyone was playing well. The energy levels were back in the team. It just felt like things were going so well at that point, and the performance was excellent. And obviously they got the tactics very, very good in that first part of the game. Maybe in the second half might been a bit different, but first half they were outstanding. And why they changed it, we all know why. I think because Marcelo Bielsa thought that possibly Harry Kane was getting on the ball and going deeper and creating things, making things happen. But for me, I wish we just stuck to our game plan a little bit more.
In terms of taking the positives out of the game, Dan James gets the goal for Leeds that he's been wanting to get, and it was a great goal as well, wasn't it? Jack Harrison's involvement in that goal. That was a real moment. I was shouting my head off when that one went on.
Yeah, I mean, obviously Dan James getting his first goal, great. I think he deserved that. He's put a lot of effort and a lot of work. You can see, obviously, when he's had to make that move from Man United, he's obviously learnt a lot from that. But I think, again, getting that goal, confidence-wise, is brilliant. And obviously, the work from Harrison leading to that goal was brilliant. Great skill, great ball in. And Dan James, well, you've still got to get on the end of that. So he had enough pace and timing just to get that nice touch into the far corner. Brilliant goal. And I think for me as well, when you watch that goal back, it was a real team goal because it started further back as well. Then the ball goes into Harrison, gets in the ball, that little bit of magic. And that's what he can do. And I don't think we've seen enough of that with Harrison. Maybe it's one of those things, whoever he's playing alongside, keep feeding the ball. We know what he can do. We know he's got the pace. We know he's got the ability to get past people. And then people like Dan James, willing runners, little tapping. Brilliant.
The games come quickly now,
don't
they? In the space of just over a week, we're looking at playing 9th, 10th and 14th in the league. Brighton, Palace, Brentford. This is a huge week, isn't it?
It really is. I think you've just named all them three teams. They're going to be, I think, winnable games for me personally. And you've got to think positive about them games as well. Looking at all 3 of them games. Yes, we know they've all got certain qualities, but I think all of them are winnable, especially at the moment. Brighton at the moment aren't in brilliant form, haven't won in 8, I think it is. So then you go through the rest of the teams, they're winnable games, especially at home. Get a result at Brighton, then the next 2 home games are massive. We really need to be picking up points in them games, and we can't keep saying this week in, week out. Got to pick up points in this game, this one. Listen, next game is the most important, then you move on to it. So I think this Brighton game is massive. Again, confidence. And I think the players will be feeling not pressured, but they'll know they need to pull a performance out of the bag at some point soon. It's just to give the fans a bit of confidence and themselves confidence as well, because we know at Tottenham it wasn't far away from being a really good result. So again, it's them small details that we need to get right.
He's calling a 9-point week. You heard it here first there
from Why not?
From Dom.
Why not?
Let's just look at the other Premier League fixtures that are going on over this weekend. There's some really big games, actually. Just start very quickly with 2 of the high flyers, Man City against West Ham. How do you see that one going?
Good game. Well, listen, I'd love to say Man City, wouldn't I? But I think West Ham are one of those teams, again, they're hard to play against. They're tough, they're well organised, but I think Man City will have too much, being brutally honest. I'd love to say something different, but I don't. I think Man City will have too much against West Ham, but they're a good team and they'll have chances, but overall I think Man City will win the game.
Dan James scores his first goal for Leeds United.
Dan, thanks so much for joining us ahead of this weekend's game.
Dan, how you doing, mate? Good to see you.
Hi guys, you okay?
I guess first and foremost, getting that first goal for Leeds, how did that feel? What was that moment like? Just describe how you were feeling when that hit the back of the net.
Yeah, I think obviously I've been looking at it for a while. I've come very close in the last few games, and as a forward player, you want to get off the mark, and yeah, it was great. I've been making them runs for a while. I told Jack, even if you don't see me put it there, if I'm not there, it's my fault. So yeah, he put it in there. It was an unbelievable ball, and yeah, I think I've seen it very late. I didn't think I was going to get on the end of it when he crossed it, but yeah, I've made the run, and yeah, thankfully I've got good contact on it because I've seen them miss before, and yeah, it was absolutely buzzing. Obviously, it made us go 1-0 up, and I think at the start I didn't really think that it was. I thought it may have been offside or something because the boys didn't come to celebrate me straight away, and then I stopped for a second, then realised, it was a goal. But yeah, I think for me myself, it's a great way to get off the mark, and hopefully I can keep doing that.
Dan, so really pleased you got your first goal, mate. Took me a while to get mine, but we won't talk about that. Anyway, Dan, I just want to say, brilliant goal, mate, and a great all-round performance from you, mate. What are the things you think the team needs to get better at or work on to make the club stronger and better in your kind of view?
Yeah, I think you've seen obviously the first half we were very dominant. We played very well, and then the second half we come off it a little bit, and you definitely seen that. I think for us to be better, we've got to be more consistent. I think there's been a lot of games this season. I think Watford sticks out to being one of the best games of our season so far, and then next week we don't perform so well at Southampton, and then go into Leicester, have a great game, and don't come away with 3 points, and we were quite disappointed with that. And then obviously going to Tottenham, played well first half, and second half not so well. So yeah, just being consistent. But this for us, we're not worried about it. We've got great team morale, great team spirit, and it's just a matter of time. We just need to keep pushing.
Of course, we're at the start of a massive week now. 3 games in quick succession. It starts at Brighton. There's Palace and Brentford as well. How are the preparations going ahead of those games, starting with this Brighton one? Yeah,
the preparations are going really well. Obviously, we're nearly at December now, which is a very busy period. I think this week we've had the time to prepare for this game, and then after that it's, you've got to get as much detail as you can before the game, because games come in every 3-4 days. So yeah, this week we've had good time to prepare, and we're just looking forward to the game on the weekend.
Dan, how have you found working under Marcelo Bielsa? It must be amazing from your point of view to be working with such a great coach and great organiser, knows the game inside out. Everyone comes to him for help as well. So what have you learnt from him, and what do you think you can keep improving on? Obviously working with Marcelo day in, day out, week in, week out.
Yeah, he's an amazing manager. He's a manager that's recognised all around the world by all the top managers, and they all really respect him. He's as soon as I come in from day one, he wants me to learn. He knows that I want to learn every single day, and that's what I've been doing. I've learnt so much from him since I've come in, and just want to keep doing that. Everything on the training field, everything inside, all the analysis and things, I just want to take on board what he has to say to me. He always has a reason for something, and even when you don't understand it so much, he will explain that to you, and he's always there to help you, as you said.
And just a final one ahead of this weekend, of course, long trip down to Brighton. Are you all feeling confident you can go down there and get a result? What's the approach going to be?
Yeah, of course. I think we're always feeling confident. I think the result on the weekend, was obviously disappointing after, but We lifted our heads and we just got to get ready for the next one. We may have had a bit of a slower start than we wanted to, but there's not many points between the top and bottom half. We've just got to keep pushing, as I said, be more consistent. But we're definitely confident going to this weekend. We know they're a great team and they've been doing so well this season. But yeah, we're definitely confident.
We're joined today by Charlie from Let's Talk BHAFC. Charlie, thanks a lot for coming on, mate.
How you doing? You all right?
You've had a great start to the season, and in recent weeks your form has dipped a little bit. How do you think your season has been so far as a Brighton fan?
It's been very mixed, to be fair. I imagine from an outside perspective, you probably see it as a massive positive, a fantastic start, and it has been. We're in 9th place after 12 games, our best ever points total at this stage in the season, but 12 of our 17 points came in the opening 5 games. There have been 7 games since then, and we've not won any of them. We've not won for 2 months now in the league, more than that actually.
Who has been your standout player this year so far, Charlie?
It's difficult. I would definitely say Yves Bissouma, but he missed a big chunk through a knee injury.
Right.
But when he has been playing, he's always our standout player. He's the best player in the squad. You've got the likes of Tariq Lamptey, who's also a fantastic prospect at right back, and you've got Lewis Dunk, who is Mr. Consistent every single year. But I think you've grown to expect that from Dunk. Bissouma is one of those players who can just change a game in a moment. He can win the ball back. Within seconds, he's got the ball 10, 20 yards up the pitch, spring out wide, getting it back. I mean, most of the time when he takes on efforts from range, they go about row Z, but occasionally he scores a screamer as well. So he's probably been one of our standouts, but Leandro Trossard, I think, is the man who has been very consistent for us, scoring quite a few goals recently.
How do you think we've been this season as a outsider watching it? Obviously last year we had a fantastic season.
Well, a lot of the things you've kind of mentioned of them being so good last season, Leeds, being one of the best sides in the league in terms of attacking threat, being really exciting to watch, actually, from an outside perspective. It's probably how you see us, to be fair. You probably see us as quite an exciting outfit, not having the best team necessarily, not having much of a budget, but getting results on the pitch, having a great manager, a proper tactician in there. I think they did really well last year, but now I've been really disappointed by them this year because, you're only hovering a couple of points above relegation at the moment, only a couple of wins in the league. You need to start getting some more points, otherwise you might be in trouble.
Looking at the game this weekend then, can I get a score prediction and how you think it's going to go, Charlie?
I think Rafinha is meant to be available for this one, so that gives you a big boost. But
definitely.
We've not won in 2 months, and I'm hoping this will be the one we win. Back at the Amex, in front of a home crowd, I'm thinking 2-1, I think it's going to be a very open game. Both sides trying to go for it, realising they need to get a win under their belt to build some form towards a very busy, festive period. So, 2-1 Albion is what I'm going for.
So tea time kickoff then against Brighton. And Dom, when you look at their form, they had an incredible start to the season. Now in their last 7 games, 5 draws, 2 defeats. So It's kind of dropped off a bit. Their last win was September the 19th. It's a long time to go without a win.
It is. He's a good manager, Potter, and I think he'll know that himself. And obviously, I think they've got 17 points already, so they got a good tally early on. And I think now they've just maybe relaxed that a little bit. Sometimes that happens when you have you win a few games and you sort of, you take things easy a little bit because you've got them points in the bag. But I think now they'll want to make things right defensively as well. They don't usually concede too many goals, but they've been shipping a few of late. So I think it's defensively they'll want to be better at that. And obviously they've got a big physical presence, Brighton, as well. So they'll want to make it as difficult as they can for the Leeds players when they get there as well, with the physicality they have and the height that some of them have as well. That's something we've got to be wary of. The set pieces, I think, will be massive against Brighton for Leeds.
When you look at the Brighton team, who are the players that stand out for you? Think that's where the difficulties are going to lie? They are the danger men from an opposition point of view.
I think Lallana is a player that I've always liked as a player. I watched him at Liverpool quite a lot. I think with him, if he does play and if he can get on the ball, he orchestrates a lot of stuff, and he played a little bit further forward in the last game. So I think he played alongside Trossard in the last game. So I think them two have obviously been working alongside each other. I think for me personally, if Lallana runs a game, I've seen it at Liverpool, if he can run it and get on the ball and make things happen, he can do that very well. But I think the other side of that coin is if Calvin Phillips and people can and Forshaw can get around him and get into him, get stuck into him early on, then that's where the game for me will be won or lost. And I think obviously Calvin's performance again at times at Tottenham was outstanding. He really is an outstanding footballer, and he seems to be getting better and better his energy levels were great. You know, up against Harry Kane, we know what player he is, and he nullified him, didn't he, for a long part of the game. I know they lost the game, but I think his performance again was outstanding. But we're going to need him again to put a big performance against a Brighton team who are well organised with some clever players that are difficult to play against. And obviously, the other side of the coin is they're not in great form. So can we lift our game up against them? Because I think we'll win. I think we'll beat them if we do that.
Okay, well that leads me on very nicely. Dom, to your score prediction. We've said it's a big week. There's no denying it. Three big games, three winnable games as you described earlier.
Yeah.
What's the score going to be against Brighton?
I have thought about this one, but people say
Do you not normally?
No, I do. But people always go, "Oh, you always say that." But I actually think it'll be a 2-1 for Leeds. I do. That's what I think. And people say, "Oh, you say 2-1." You do. But that's how I generally think of it. I don't think we'll keep a clean sheet, and I think they will get one, and I think we'll get two. There you go, 2-1.
That's his thinking face. Seen that? Unbelievable. Dom, thank you as always.
Cheers.
Enjoy.
Thanks.
Football is for everyone, and we are committed to fighting for equality for all.
Prejudice and abuse must not be tolerated anywhere.
Not at Ellen Road, away from home or online.
We will continue the fight against any form of discrimination.
The fight against racism.
The fight against homophobia.
And the fight against anti-Semitism and all other religious discriminations.
We all want to play our part and end the abuse people suffer. It needs to be removed from our game.
Those who disagree are not welcome.
Everyone should be equal. Equality for everyone.
So this weekend across the Premier League is the Rainbow Laces weekend. Couple of fixtures dedicated to that. And Mick from Marching Out Together is here to tell us a little bit about it. Mick, firstly, welcome to the warm-up.
Thank you.
Secondly, just for anyone who doesn't know, tell them what's Marching Out Together.
Yeah, so Marching Out Together, it's the Leeds United LGBT fan group made up by a whole range of fans from Leeds and who supported Leeds their whole life, or newcomers, including straight allies. And what we're really doing is working to make Leeds United, particularly Ellen Road, a supportive place for LGBT people to go.
Yeah, in terms of a sport, it hasn't always felt that way, I guess, for the LGBTQ plus community. Rainbow Laces is dedicated to kind of targeting some of those issues. Yeah. Tell us a bit about the weekend and how it works.
Yeah, and obviously, you know, the work on equality in a day, it's a year-long thing and lifelong thing in some cases. So the work of Marching Out Together, and indeed the work of Leeds United, carries on through the year. But what Rainbow Laces do allows clubs like Leeds and all clubs across all the leagues to have a real focus, to raise that profile, to make sure people are aware of that there are still serious issues for LGBT people, whether that's fans, whether it's people who just work in the game, or indeed, of course, footballers, to make them feel supported. And I think by having that really strong focus on one day, it is just a bit of a reminder. We can build up to it, make sure there's stuff going on. Leeds United's been really supportive. The players are going to be wearing a special warm-up shirt just beforehand. You've got the rainbow sort of corner flags. We'll be unveiling later this week a design for a mural that we'll be doing in Leeds, because obviously visibility is really important. And I suppose that last thing, visibility, is what it's about. If you look at the history of the LGBT movement, you know, the very early days of Pride, it was about being visible, something that was previously hidden. And one of the great things about football, of course, is its visibility. So pulling those two things together in something like Rainbow Laces sends a really strong message.
You mentioned that Leeds United have been really supportive with everything that you're doing. There's the Marching Out Together flag under the scoreboard, which must make you feel really proud whenever you see that as well. What else needs to be done?
Yeah, it's carrying on. As I said, I think visibility is the strong thing, making people identify, think that, oh, this is something for me. But there's constant awareness. We recently, with the help of the club, did training for stewards. That was really positive. We're working together on doing some designs for materials to go out. So you've got good posters in the ground, that sort of thing. Just planning for that moment when a player does come out, whether that's at Leeds or somewhere else in the Premiership. You know, in the same way that Leeds was really good about the Australian footballer coming out. Leeds made some good statements. Doing training, particularly things like people coming through the academy so that they're aware of what they need to do, how they can be supportive. It's just that constant sort of awareness pushing and raising it in terms of anybody who's going to Ellen Road or supports Leeds from across the globe know that that is a club that's at the forefront of striving for equality in the same way that Leeds has done over the years of other issues as well.
Yeah, fantastic. I'm going to give you the last word here on the warm-up this week, because if we look towards this game against Brighton, big few games coming up. Well, I've got to get a score prediction from you, Mick. What's it going to be this weekend?
Yeah, well, people always think I'm the negative one generally, even when we're a couple up. But I actually think this is the beginning on the build-up. A comfortable 2-0 win to Leeds.
Who throws in the word comfortable, Mick?
Yeah, you've got to have that occasionally. I'm down there. I need something that's a bit less stressful.
OK, 2-0, Mick saying. Hopefully
Cheers.
You'll be absolutely spot on. It is the Rainbow Laces weekend, and you can find more details about that at the Leeds United website as well. Leeds United then going south to Brighton. It's a huge game. LUTV have your coverage. Your commentary team will be Bryn Law and, of course, Tony DeRigo.